Is there anybody there?
Yeah, see, I'm not a stats guy. I like your stats. I like bats, runs, hits, doubles, triples, homers, RBIs, walks, strikeouts, stolen base, caught, steal, and batting average. That's what a line score is supposed to look like.
What's up, Dad Hat crew? Ed here, and on this episode, I give you guys Kevin Greene. Who's Kevin Greene? He is the president and GM of the Idaho Falls Chukars of the Pioneer Baseball League, and then also he is the president of a Junior A hockey team, the Idaho Falls Spud Kings. I love the name. I really do. That's a great name. Great hockey name. And also, by the way, Spud, space, it's potato, whatever. Anyways, really good conversation. We go into both the hockey team and the baseball team, right? Everything that's going on, a little bit of history on it. And then also we talked about how he goes from all the way to upstate New York to Idaho Falls. Yes, guys, he does. He does it. All right. It is as minor league as it gets. It is a great story, great conversation, had a lot of fun. And of course, we ended with my famous, not so famous questions. So without further ado, guys, I'll give you the episode. Well, welcome back, guys, to yet another episode of the Dad Hat Chronicles. Obviously, you guys know who I am. My name is Ed. And with me today, guys, I'm very excited for this because not only do I have the president and GM of the Idaho Falls Chukars, but you are also the president of a little hockey team as well, my friend.
Yeah, what an exciting time for us here in Idaho Falls.
Right. I mean, I was just saying, I was doing my research and I'm like, man, this is some great stuff. I love this. Kevin, how are you today, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing great. Baseball will be here. Well, our team will be getting here in about 3 weeks to start their preseason mini camp. And our first game will be here against the Boise Hawks at May 20th. We're doing an exhibition game about a week before our home opener.
That's exciting. I love baseball. I love especially, like the beginning of spring, you're doing the I call it spring season, right? Like, just all of that, the exhibition and all that. And it's just like, oh, we are here. We are finally here.
We are, except for it snowed again last night. So we were supposed to have high school baseball in our field today, but there is snow on the ground.
That's a little hard for to play, especially, with this little snow on the ground.
Been a crazy spring, but it's going to come around. It always does.
Gotcha. So let's get started here with you. I want to get to know you first of all. Your trajectory, right? You are from Upper New York, so I wanted to get to know a little bit about you, and then we'll talk about the Chukars. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Should I just tell you?
Yeah, go for it. I'm gonna leave the floor open for you, my friend.
I grew up in a little town in Waddington, New York, right on the Canadian border. And we were Expos fans growing up, of course, because Jerry Park and then Exhibition Montreal Expos were just down the road. But anyway, I ended up going to college in SUNY, Brockport. And then coming out of that, I secured an internship with the AAA Rochester Red Wings in 1984 and became a full-time member of their staff. Worked with them through the 1991 season, and that fall we had a change with our general manager. At that time, I was the head of public relations and did a lot of corporate sales. With the changeover, I decided to look around and see what was out there. So I ended up moving to the Tidewater Tides. Worked for the late Dave Rosenfield. They were the Tides back in the old military park. And that was the year before they built a new one down there in the waterfront. That was being built while I was there. And then I guess it would have been the fall of 1992, my old boss, who was later working for a team in Colorado Springs, called me and said, I have an opportunity for you to become a general manager if you're interested in making a move to Idaho Falls, Idaho. So after coming out here and checking it out for 3 or 4 days, I said, let's give this a try. Convinced my wife, who we were only dating at the time, that she should move with me, and we got married and moved on out here. That was in 1993, so we've been doing this for 30 years. In fact, she was our director of finance. She retired last Friday.
Oh, good for her! Congratulations.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah. So I was watching an interview that you did, and I saw it on through minor league baseball. Is that the way that you got connected through the Rochester Red Wings was by someone asking you one question?
Yes, they did. It was my advisor at college. And all he said to me, and I was getting ready to essentially become a phys ed teacher. And he said one thing. He said, "What are you passionate about?" And I said, "Baseball. I love baseball." And it just happened. That was my answer. And he said, "Well, that's interesting. There's a team right down the road, the Rochester Red Wings, that just put in to see if there was anyone in our program interested in doing an internship." So he set me up with an interview, and I hit it off with the GMs. They have co-GMs at the time, Bob Gahn and Bill Terlecki. And I sat there between the two of them, and they grilled me. And I said, "Listen," they started asking me questions about baseball operations. And I said, "The only thing I learned in SUNY Brockport was how to teach phys ed. That was it." They says, "All right, show up and we'll give it a try." And I've been doing it ever since.
The bug. You got bit by the bug, and then that was it, huh?
Yeah, it was awesome. But, I find out that we bring in interns every year, and some of them, they love it. This is what they want to do. Others immediately say this is a lot of work for virtually no money. And, they want to seek something that maybe provides a little bit more financial security up front. Baseball, you've got to pay your dues.
I was just gonna say, it's like if you want to stick around in minor league baseball, you got to only pay your dues, right? You start as an intern, and then not only that, you're wearing multiple hats.
Oh my gosh, the hours are incredible.
Right? I mean, you could be sales and then also be pulling the tarp on game day.
Well, interesting you say that. I currently do not have a groundskeeper. So yesterday, because our ballpark is city owned and there is high school baseball played here, I was dragging our infield yesterday at about 1:30 in the afternoon for a high school.
My God.
That and raking out the corners, put down a chalk line, and they're ready to go.
That is wild. That's crazy. It goes to speak on what it is, right? Minor league baseball.
Oh yeah, back when I worked in Rochester, I lived with the Dana and Daryl Brown were the groundskeepers in Rochester. They were identical twins, and I shared a house with them. And of course, we became great friends. But I learned a little bit about groundskeeping and how important it is as part of an operations thing. So I enjoy going out in the field, especially when it's a beautiful day out there. It's much better than sitting in the office. In fact, when we had shut down 2020 with COVID, I had to furlough my entire staff. So that year I was the head groundskeeper, and I enjoyed it. I really loved it. I think if I retire, I'll become a groundskeeper.
You know what? That's a great job, right? You're hanging out outside.
Yep. I'll walk up to the top of the grandstand, just look out over the field. There's sometimes I'll just sit up there and look at the field and take some pride in it.
That's amazing. I love that. Okay. So another part of the interview that I was listening to is that stats have changed a little bit since you started with Rochester, right? Between then and now.
Yeah. See, I'm not a stats guy. I like your stats. I like bats, runs, hits, doubles, triples, homers, RBIs, walks, strikeouts, stolen base, caught, steal, and batting average. That's what a line score is supposed to look like, or but the rest of these things I personally don't care about. Whips and
everything.
It's just not me. I'm old school. Listen, analytics are so important to the game now. I'm not going to discredit that because people say I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, for me as a casual fan, when I'm not out here just working ops, as a casual fan, the big ones: homers, RBIs, batting average. I'm good.
Right. It's funny you say that because I'm the same way. I'm like, listen, I get it. There's a place for all those analytics for all those fans that love it. Me personally, give me the simple stats, and then I also look at how the player is reacting, the pitcher and all of that. I like to watch the players and see how they move and all that. That's how I know how things are going in the game.
Sure. But it's pretty easy. I mean, if you're watching a ball game on TV, they're still going to show, home runs, RBIs, batting average. I mean, that's really what you need. Yep. Wins, loss, ERA, saves. strikeouts.
Exactly. That's it. You don't need much else after that.
More than that.
Okay. So you decided to move to Idaho Falls, and you're now GM of the Chukars and all that. What was your first thought when you said, "Hey, you are going to be working for a team called the Chukars, and it happens to be a bird"?
Well, when I first got here, we were the Idaho Falls Gems.
That's right.
Yep. In 1993, I got here. We were called the Gems, and the team had just come off just a horrendous year, not only win-loss wise, but attendance had really dropped off. And one of the guys who I first met when I got here was our longtime radio broadcaster, a guy who's since passed away, a guy named Jim Garshow. And I said, Jim, tell me what's going on with. Do you see problems with this operation? What's the problem? They go, well, first of all, you're an affiliate of the Atlanta Braves, who at that particular time had a huge following out here, because if you had TV, it was cable TV, and you were probably watching Braves on TBS. So we're a Braves affiliate. My predecessor dumped the name Idaho Falls Braves and took on the name Gems. And it was a terrible logo, Gems, because Idaho is a gem state, I guess. But people didn't even know who the Gems were. They didn't do a good job marketing it. So the first thing I did was I called a press conference and I said, the Braves are back. We are the Idaho Falls Braves, and forget the Gems fiasco of 1992. And boy, the fans' support came right back around, and we turned a 1992 season that was a financial loser into a financial win in 1993. And up until COVID year of 2020, we were profitable every year that me and my staff ran the team here.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't see the gem thing. I'll be honest with you. I don't see, gems. I get it, like you said, gem state, or, how other states have their own, like Ohio, the heart of it all. You're not going to call the Cleveland Hearts or anything like that.
Yeah, and the logo just had a red, it was a diamond in red, and it didn't say baseball, didn't say who we are, but we corrected that wrong, and we got on track, and the trajectory for minor league baseball right up through 2019 was incredible.
I love it. So let me ask you, right now, you were affiliated, and then obviously the news came out that you guys were no longer going to be affiliated. How was that support in the town when all of that happened? Like, how did you guys handle all of that?
Well, we got into the fall, and it was really up to the owners of the teams to sit down and say, okay, where do we go from here? They knew that things were probably collapsing with the Appy League and the New York Penn League. But the ownership group within the Pioneer League stuck together and said, we think that we need to remain professional baseball. We're just going to have to pay these guys ourselves, and we're going to have to go the independent route, and let's make it work. And everyone stuck together, and we made it work. I can't speak for what happened in the Appy and the New York Penn League, but our league stuck it out, and every team continues to remain viable, although profitability has taken a big hit. Mm-hmm. That's something we all know, because, we had such a great deal with our affiliated system where players and coaches and trainers, all their salaries were paid for, but not just that. A lot of the travel expenses, hotels, meal money, that's a big thing. I spend $50,000 a year just on meal money. That was covered before. So if you add all that up, we did all take a really big hit to our bottom line, but not so much though that we're disappearing. We're still here.
And I love it. Obviously you guys are also adding, a couple of teams in, since then, right? The Grand Junction to Jackalopes.
Yeah. Well, Grand Junction was a team that was originally in Orem. They were the Orem Owls. I'm sorry. Let me get this straight. Orem became the Northern Colorado team.
Owls. Yep.
Owls. Grand Junction was a part of the league. They were the Grand Junction Rockies. They just rebranded as the Jackalopes this last offseason. But we were at 8 teams. Where we picked up the teams was the expansion team, and then in Kalispell, the Glacier Ridge Riders.
Range Riders, yeah.
Range Riders, I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm getting old. And of course, Boise Hawks, they kind of got left out of the realignment process when they were a member of the Northwest League. Northwest League went from 8 down to 6 teams, and they got lopped off. I think geographically they were so far out from the rest of that Northwest League, and it made so much sense for them geographically to join the Pioneer League, which they did, and they're seeing good success over there.
Me personally, I've grown ever since COVID. I've grown to have a huge amount of appreciation for the independent leagues, for teams like the professional leagues, like you guys are, just because you guys have to do not only your job now is not only baseball ops, but you also going through the process of signing players and, like you said, head groundskeeper and all that. So there's a lot more going on than just having a team sent to you, a coaching staff sent to you by the major league club.
Oh my gosh, it was so easy. And now, I'm a month out and I don't have a clubhouse manager. If I didn't have a clubhouse manager, I'd call the Kansas City Royals and say, hey, you must have some guys working down your spring training complex that don't want to work in Arizona heat all summer. Do you have somebody down there that can come on up and be our clubby? And they've sent guys up here before they've done a great job for us. So that's you've got the support, not just the financial support, but support in so many other ways. I remember when we were at the Padres, they were corporate sponsors of ours. They took some of our community outreach type programs and put dollars behind it and actually did sponsorship with us back in the day. That was wonderful. Mm-hmm. What a great relationship we had with them. The Royals were great. I love the Padres. Those guys were great. We were at Padres from 95 through 2003.
Heck yeah. I mean, why not? That helps. Absolutely. Right. It helps a little bit here and there.
Yeah. But I miss those relationships I had with the big league people. I miss the going to the baseball winter meetings. Feel like you're part of something that's much bigger than our operation. At this point, we accomplished what we can do, and that's to stay in business and keep our fan base happy and still put a good product on the field.
I was just going to say, the support has not left at all. If anything, it's stronger now because of they know that if they don't support, the team could be gone, and because of there is no financial backing or actual backing from a major league team.
Yeah. You do what you can to offset these added expenses. For example, one of the first things we did was knew that we had to find ways to generate more money, and it wasn't just going to come from raising prices on everything. So we went from a 76 game schedule to a 96 game schedule. Picking up 10 extra home games each year made a big difference for us, a huge help. Yeah. And then you prices up a little bit as you see fit. But minor league baseball, even at the independent level, is still so affordable. Our most expensive ticket here is $16.
And I get it. Listen, I understand that with inflation, one, and then two, you have to raise prices. I'm one that, as you see behind me, I will buy a hat from a team just because I know that hat will make a much bigger difference in the minor leagues than it does in the major leagues.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. My gosh, you mentioned hockey before. Of course, now we run the junior A hockey team, the Idaho Fall Spud Kings.
Yep.
That brand we got almost laughed at when we first came out with it and showed everyone our new mark, and we absolutely killed it. I would be surprised if there's any junior A hockey team in the country that outdrew us or sold more merchandise.
First of all, I love the name. I absolutely love the name Spud Kings. It's hilarious.
Well, I know. When we started, people were like, no, you're not going to be the Spud Kings. It's too hokey, et cetera, et cetera. But the more we talked to our partners at Brandios, who helped us come up with this brand, we said, when you're in any state other than Idaho in the country and somebody says Idaho, what do you think of? You think of potatoes. So why wouldn't we take a brand that says who we really are?
Yeah, why not?
We are the Spud Kings.
And I love it. The colors, the yellow, the red are amazing. I was just going to talk about that. I was just going to transition here because, right, you handle the baseball during the summer, but during the winter, you're working with the hockey team. My friend, you got a full schedule. You got a full plate.
Oh, we do. Usually in the fall, that's where we all get to take a little bit of a time off, take a breather, relax, take some vacation. But now we'll go right from the end of baseball season right into hockey season. So it hasn't killed me yet, Ed, but we'll see. But we're gonna have a young staff that's really, really good at what they do, and they work tirelessly. And we had just an incredible inaugural season for Spud Kings hockey. 24 home games, we sold out 22 of the 24.
That's amazing.
Yeah, over 4,000 fans per game.
That's great. And the fact that, like, I'm watching one of the videos right now, right? And it shows the fans throwing potatoes on the ice. That's great.
That was a promotional thing we did with Teton Toyota. We called it the tater toss, where those are foam potatoes. They were all numbered, and we sold those. And if whoever's closest to the target would win $500. But it was a huge fundraiser we did, and every time we did it, they'd identify a local nonprofit to benefit, and I think they helped raise about $25,000 throughout our community just by doing the tater toss and select dates this summer or this last winter. So it was great.
Let me ask you. Obviously you run junior hockey, you run the baseball team. So what are, in your opinion, what are some of the similarities and differences between running those two clubs?
Well, because we're independent baseball and we're junior A hockey, my coaching staff is in charge of all the recruiting. Very, very similar. Differences, junior A hockey, they're not paid. They're trying to get looks from college scouts. Minor league independent baseball, they're paid, trying to get looks from major league teams to sign them to a minor league contract so they can keep the dream alive. Marketing is almost identical. We sold the same kind of promotions. They're a little bit different. Hockey promotions can be different on ice versus, baseball, kids run the bases kind of stuff. But there's a lot of similarities there. Our pricing structure is very comparable. But Idaho, there's a lot to do in the summer. You got 50 home games. So the per game attendance is quite a bit less for baseball because people are, you got a short summer. They're out fishing and hunting and camping and traveling. And hockey in Idaho in January, February, not much to do. You got Friday, Saturday games. Let's go to a Spud Kings game, and you sell it out. It's a lot easier to run hockey right now than it is baseball. Also, in hockey, there's a whole separate staff that runs the arena. Mm-hmm. We lease agreement, but when we go over there, the staff of the arena takes care of cleanup, ushers, ticket takers, security, all that. My small staff and I do all that at the games. So if we have a Saturday baseball game, my staff and I are here at 9 a.m. for a 7:00 game. If there's a hockey game on Saturday at 7 p.m., my staff and I might not show up till 5:30 because there's a whole nother staff that takes care of all the building operations for us. So for that reason, hockey is 10 times easier than baseball. The hours are significantly less. And and we have all that other support staff over there to get it done.
Interesting. That's a very good way of looking at it. It's like, if I'm going to buy a team, I'm going to buy a hockey team because it's a whole lot easier to run.
But, not all junior hockey teams are as fortunate as we are. We're in a beautiful $64 million facility with 4,000 seats. A lot of junior A teams are out there in community ice rinks drawing 500 fans a game. So it's just, if you're fortunate enough to have the right community support, but also the right building.
I was going to say, it's like, it also helps that you are the big boys in town as well, right?
Having run minor league baseball for 30 years here, I think it was important for this first year to have all the connections that we did. Our biggest sponsors for the hockey team, we already had those relationships with the baseball people. And I think we knew what our fans were expecting in terms of pricing. So we had to keep that affordable for everything. We didn't try and blow it out of the water. And, if anything, people are going, wow, your tickets are perhaps underpriced. But minor league baseball's tickets have always been underpriced. So I think it's important that, we're handling both. So we're not blowing the market. We're not ruining the market in any way.
No, and you want to make sure that you keep your fan base because, like, all right, fine, let's raise the prices.
Yeah.
What's going to happen then after that? Nobody's going to be happy. Nobody's going to come. So at that point, all right, you just made a little bit of profit early on, but where's the rest of the profit going to come from after that?
Oh, yeah. And you want to be able to grow both programs, and you're going back to the same sponsors. So that sponsor that's been supporting baseball for the last 20 years, we're now asking them to support baseball and hockey. So you don't want to give them such a big hockey sponsorship that they can't afford the baseball sponsorship. So you got to find balance there. I think we've done a really good job of that.
Getting back to baseball, let me ask you, because you said that you're a professional, right? Your players are paid. How is the process of recruiting these players? Where do you get these players from?
Well, again, I rely on our manager and our coach staff. Dave Clark is our manager. He's got he played in the big leagues for 9 years. He was a hitting coach for the Detroit Tigers for 7 years. I think he's also coached at major league level for the Houston Astros, et cetera. So here's a guy that's got a lot of big league connections. It's been around Major League Baseball for a lot of years. He's bringing in players. It's all up to him. I trust him to sign the guys and get them here for the start of the season. Bob Malacki, our pitching coach, also about 8-9 years in the big leagues, a first-round pick from the Baltimore Orioles back in the 1980s. In fact, when our manager the last 2 years, Billy Gardner, he just got a job with the Marlins, running their team in Beloit. So we lost Gardy after 2 years because he got back into affiliated baseball. Good for him. But when we agreed to terms with him 2 years ago to be our manager, he said, I'm thinking about a pitching coach named Bob Malacki. And the first thing I said is, Bob Malacki. I knew Bob Malacki back in 1998 when I worked for the Rochester Red Wings. And he was a pitcher for the Royals. Signed him at the end of the first round in 88. And he won, I think, 14 games for us in Rochester in 98. Went on to have a pretty good big league career. I think he won about 40 big league ball games. So he came back, a guy I've known since the 1980s. And then, of course, local celebrity Billy Butler, Country Breakfast, lives in Idaho Falls now, played his first year minor league baseball for the 2004 Idaho Falls Chukars, our first year as the Chukars. He was a first-round pick out of high school, out of Jacksonville, Florida. When he was here as a 17-year-old, he met a girl. They started dating, and he lives here with her now. They're married, and of course, and have 3 daughters. He's our hitting coach.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, very.
He was a pretty good hitter. He was a pretty good hitter in the majors.
Yeah, big country breakfast. He could hit a baseball. He was a Silver Slugger. He was an MLB All-Star. I was just so bummed for him because he was on the 2014 team that lost Game 7 of the World Series to the Giants, but he did not come back for the 2015 season when they won the World Series ring. And the Royals were so nice, they presented me with a World Series ring. I'm not wearing it right now, but when Billy's around, I'm wearing it. I always flash it in front of him just to give him a hard time because I think the thing that he's so bummed about is he didn't get the World Series ring from the Royals from 15 because he had already left to sign. He signed a 3-year contract with the Oakland A's. And that's where he moved to for the 15 season. But, Billy is the ultimate ball buster, and I love him. So.
That's amazing. That's a really good coaching staff you got there.
Yep. Guys with a lot of big league experience, a lot of contacts, a lot of knowledge, a lot of people, all of them well respected in the game. So when you have those guys out recruiting for you, it makes it pretty easy.
You just sit back and enjoy the show.
Yep.
Or at least go rake the field, but while they're coaching,
and then come out the field and enjoy a hot dog and mingle with the fans. Maybe go around, shake a few hands and some sweets, and watch a little baseball.
And there's nothing better than that, my friend. There's absolutely nothing better than that.
Enjoy the fruits of the labor.
Love it. All right. Is there anything that I have not asked you or anything like that that we haven't mentioned on this podcast so far?
Oh gosh, I think we've talked about everything. It's what a great run it's been. I got people my age who are all retiring now, wondering how much longer I'm going to do this. And my answer to that is, why would I give up something that I love? But I will tell you this, like beginning of the season, we've got a stretch. We're home 9 nights out of 10.
Oof.
And you might see me leave the ballpark early on some of those nights, where that's something I would never used to do. And I'd grind it from 9 a.m. till 11 p.m. Fortunately, we'll be able to get out of here earlier this year. The Pioneer League is using the pitch clocks. And so much like Major League Baseball, we hope to see a good 30 to 40 minute decrease in game time. Last year, it was brutally long. There's so many nights we were finishing. We'd start a game at 7:05 and the game would be wrapping up at 10:30, 10:40.
Wow.
And that's just too long, especially when you're trying to grow this game with families with young kids. They're leaving at the end of the 6th because it's already 9:15, 9:30, and you still got a third of a baseball game to play. So I think the pitch clock is going to be great for helping us grow the game.
It's funny you say that because I have a 4-year-old daughter and we go to games. She loves going to baseball games and everything. But it's like, once you start getting to the 8:30, 9 o'clock, my wife and we're looking at each other. It's like, yeah, it's about that time, Cinderella time. My daughter's about to start getting crazy.
Yeah, either that or she's falling asleep on your lap. So it's going to be one or the other. I always thought all these changes had to do with, trying to attract people that don't really love the game. And why aren't we just good with retaining the fan base that we have? Because I'm a baseball traditionalist. I love the game. I don't think it should be changing so dramatically. But then again, the time of the game is a big change. 30 years ago, time of game was 2:30, 2:40. And all of a sudden it's become 3:15. That's a problem. You got to get it back to where, the fans aren't going to lose interest. And so keeping that pitch coming every 15 seconds is a great thing.
I'm with you there. Honestly, I don't mind it at all. I thought I was going to have an issue with some of these rules. I really don't. I've come around on those. So
yeah, me too. I agree.
So I got one last question, and then what I want to do afterwards is I want to ask you some random funny questions, what I call my famous, not so famous questions. But I want to talk merchandise, my friend. Obviously, you guys have, the name is very famous with you guys. I actually have one of your hats is right up there.
Nice.
Is the for the Copa brand, the Madres.
Oh yeah.
So I have that one. But will you guys be bringing out some more dad hats to your website?
Some more what?
Dad hats like this.
Oh, Dad is in Grateful Dead?
No, as in dad, as in DAD, dad hats.
Oh, hats. Yeah, gosh, I'm sorry. I got you on a phone here, Ed. We are going to, we did some dad hats for hockey. We did a gold dad hat, set Spud Kings across. As soon as we put them out in the racks, we sold a ton of them. So yeah, as opposed to like the new era OC, team caps, you're right. Dad hats are big. And we do have some here in stock. I'll have to take a few pictures of what we've got and I'll send them to you.
Oh yeah, now we're talking because those are, as you can tell, I only have a handful of them. So
yeah, but those gold Spud King ones. I don't know how many times we had to reorder those. My gosh.
I like it. Listen, I'm on your Spud Kings website right now. I'm not lying to you. And this brand is so good. When you have a potato right now with a big mustache, a hockey stick, and a crown on ice skates, come on, that's just great stuff right there.
So I've had the mustache most of my life, and I get friends sending me texts. Like we announce the name, and everyone's saying, Greene, leave it to Greene to create a sponsor logo, like a logo that looks like him. Come on, man. I don't look like the Spud King.
That's great, though. I love it. The Idaho one with the hand, coming out of the ground. That's beautiful, beautiful logo.
Potato, yeah, it's coming out of the ground. It's growing. Yeah, what a great mark that's turned out to be. And our gift shop right now is 50%. We brought all of our merch from the arena over here, and our gift shop's 50% hockey, 50% baseball right now.
That's amazing. Love it. I love that synergy between the teams, and I think that's great. Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, my friend. Are you ready?
I am. Bring it on.
Okay, so First question I'm going to I ask everybody is when you go to the ballpark, you're going to hang out, you're watching a game as a fan. What's your food and drink of choice?
Well, we have all the usual ballpark fare, the burgers, the hot. We sell a lot more burgers than hots. We have a chicken sandwich called the Chukar Clucker. I recommend. We do the deluxe nachos with the big baseball helmet. Those things we sell a ton of. Ice cream does really well. We wouldn't be in business probably without beer, so that's goes without saying. And but I think we offer a really nice mix. But our signature sandwich is the Chukar Clucker. It's a chicken sandwich. I recommend it. But we have I think we do a great job with our food and beverage here. And I say come out and sample it all if it's me. But I'm a burger, hot dog guy. We also do pulled pork. We have a really good sweet menu too for the folks that are up in the club level.
I love it. I think sounds delicious. Why wouldn't I not try that?
Of course.
All right. If you could travel anywhere on Earth, you don't have any limitations whatsoever, where would you go?
I'd probably go check out like Australia, Tanzania, New Zealand, check out that area, maybe go up and, check out Bali and some places like that.
I like it. Love it. Love it. Okay. In a fight between Superman and Batman, do you think that Batman has a shot at winning that fight?
Not a chance. Superman will kick his ass so quickly.
That's absolutely right.
We're talking about a human versus a superhuman.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Okay. If you could be any type of plant or animal, what kind of animal or plant would you be?
Oh, damn. Huh. I don't know. Horses are. I love it. No, dogs get spoiled. So you got to like that. They can do whatever they want. They go to the door, you let them out. They go to the door, you let them back in. You feed them, you pet them, you groom them. Who's got it better than the dog? They got it made.
To be honest with you, I have a Chihuahua, and I'm surprised that she has not barked at all this whole interview. So yeah, you're right. They got it made. They're sleeping all day. She's sleeping by the sun right now. Yeah, it's an easy life.
Oh yeah, and of course, is a well-grouped horse. They got it made too. They got it good.
That's right. Okay, let's take a look here. What, in your opinion, okay, what song would you play if you were at a party? What's your song that you would request?
That's a good one. See, I like Bob Dylan, but that's not a party. It's not a party vibe. Yeah. But if my phone rings right now, it's going to play like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan. I'm a Tom Petty guy. I love the Grateful Dead. A lot of my music's more of a mellow stuff. I like the Neil Young, stuff like that. But the Grateful Dead can always rock some pretty good tunes.
True.
There's some good stuff out there. And I really like the Allman Brothers. That I like that sound.
Nice, love it. Okay, a couple more questions here. Which is one thing that you would change about your daily routine?
I'd go to work later because I'm not a morning person. I don't mind working late. I just hate being there at 9 o'clock. So I always tell everyone else gets here and stroll in about 9:20. Up the office, open the gate. I'd rather start at 10 and work till 6 than be here at 9 and work to 5.
I'm the opposite. My wife is like you. She's like, do not wake me up in the morning. I am not a morning person. She's at night. Me, I'm the total opposite.
Yep.
Up at 5:30 in the morning every day.
Yeah, but I won't mind working well into the evening. Just that morning, I'd rather sit in my chair, drink coffee, read the news, and just chill.
I like it. All right, my friend. Last question here. If animals could talk, which animal do you think would be the rudest animal?
Probably a cat. Well, I mean, yeah. you can go and say a snake. I mean, I hate snakes. I would never touch a snake. I don't care if it's a harmless grass snake. I hate them damn things. But, cats, they don't really seem to respect humans very much. I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of cat people out there. They're so independent, they don't give a rat's.
They are a-holes. I'll say that. I'll say it.
Miserable animals out there. I mean, I wouldn't want to deal with a snake or a rat yeah, I think that gives you an idea where I'm going. So
I like it. Thank you so much for doing this, Kevin. This has been a lot of fun. I greatly appreciate you coming on.
Sure.
But where can people find the team and you on social media?
Well, I have a couple guys from my staff that do a great job with social media. Just pull up Idaho Falls Chukars. You'll find, Facebook, Instagram, all that. I got to tell you, Ed, I'm not much of a social media guy myself, but I surround myself with young people that are really good at that. So I don't have to pretend I'm good at it because I'm not. But the good thing, they always update me on what's out there. So they're saying, hey, Greene, did you see this? Did you see that? No, enlighten me. So I don't have to go digging for it. I'm not a social media guy.
That's a good thing. At least they're the ones who take care of it and you just sit back and reap the benefits.
But there was a time, and what you'd say like social media, but how do you monetize that? Well, we're seeing that now. You can go out there and do some boosts on Facebook or whatnot for upcoming events. And you're actually seeing fans respond and showing up because they're seeing it on social media. 10 years ago, everyone was asking that question. It's great. People will chip, but will it be able to monetize it? And now the answer is yes.
Absolutely, my friend. Thank you so much, Kevin. I greatly appreciate it. Like I said, I'll put all of the social media links for you guys on my podcast episode, so that way they can follow you guys. And then we'll keep in touch because definitely, the Pioneer League is one of the premier leagues out there right now when it comes to baseball.
Well, thanks so much, Ed. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you.
You bet.
I hope you guys enjoy that episode with Kevin. Now, please, guys, make sure you guys are following not only the Chukars, but also the Spud Kings. They are both a great organization ran by a great guy. So make sure you guys are following on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I'll put all the links there. Go on their sites. Get a Dad Hat, all right? Buy a Dad Hat. Buy whatever you want. Buy something. Minor League Survive is by us, fans of the sport, buying merchandise if we're away from where they are, okay? Also, make sure you guys are following me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that. Even my YouTube channel, I do put the video episode there so that way you guys can also see that, okay? Now, here is the last part of this episode, and it is the dad joke of the episode. So here we go. What do you call a lacy spud? A couch potato. All right. I see myself out. And until then, guys, keep on grinding and always support the minor leagues. See ya.